All right, let's go ahead and get into it. So there's been a lot of conversation about what the Jets should do at the quarterback position. They have a lot of options. They could either bring back Mike White, they could trade for Aaron Rodgers, trade for Lamar Jackson, or bring in Derek Carr. And I know people love options, but to me, there's one clear choice. It's Aaron Rodgers. So at his best, I don't think there's any dispute that Aaron Rodgers is the best of these quarterbacks. Now, the pushback would be, hey, Aaron Rodgers struggled this season. And a lot of people could point to the fact that, hey, he's getting older in age. Maybe he's washed. But when I watched him, I didn't see a difference in velocity and throws. I didn't see a quarterback who couldn't make throws that he used to. I saw a quarterback who was one hurt. So I think that affected his accuracy, his injury to his hand. And I think it was a quarterback who was frustrated with a lack of talent at the receiver position. You had Robert Tonyan, one of his favorite receivers, coming off of an ACL injury. You had rookie receivers in Dobbs and Watson, who came on later in the year, but who was injured for most of the year. And then you had a bunch of washed receivers. Obviously, Randall Cobb is over the hill. He's not the player that he was in his prime. And Sammy Watkins, who they brought in as their big free agent acquisition at the wide receiver position, didn't even finish the year with the team. He got cut. So if you look at that and counter it to what the Jets have, I think this is his best receiving core that he would play with if he went to the Jets the year 2016 when he had Jordy Nelson and he had Devontae Adams on his come up. Still had Cobb, and then you add in Eddie Lacy. You know, this Jets receiving core to me is one of the more underrated in the league when you factor in Garrett Wilson, Corey Davis, Elijah Moore, Conklin at the tight end position. Hopefully, Brees Hall comes back and he's healthy. This is the best set of weapons that he's going to play with. I think it might even be better than his 2016 set of weapons. So we have to factor that in. We also have to factor in that Nathaniel Hackett is the offensive coordinator there. So it's a seamless transition. It's someone that he speaks familiar language with. All of these other quarterbacks that you're talking about bringing in, a Derek Carr, a Lamar Jackson, these are guys that are going to have to learn a new system. That's not going to be the case for Aaron Rodgers. And, if you look at these elite level quarterbacks who have changed teams throughout their career, Tom Brady and Peyton Manning, there was a bit of a growing pain situation whenever they were thrust into a new offense. And that's something that's not going to happen with Aaron Rodgers. And then finally, he's played in cold weather. A lot of people, they're scared of the cold, and that matters in a division where you play in the AFC East, when you play in New York and you play outdoors. I think he's going to be hungry to prove himself. Aaron Rod's been taking a lot of shots in the media. A lot of people saying he's washed. A lot of people are dancing on his grave, happy that he's struggling. This is an opportunity where, with their roster, the skill set of this roster, given his ability when he's at his apex, which we saw just 2 seasons removed from that, if he can get back to that, they're truly a Super Bowl contender. You could realistically look at their division and you have a quarterback who can go throw for throw with Josh Allen. I mean, I think that right there should be the case ender. And then the little cherry on top is like, hey, you still have Zach Wilson. So you have A-Rod, who's probably going to play for maybe a year or two more. That would still give you time to keep Zach Wilson, give him reps, see if he's improving in practice. And if A-Rod retires in 2 years, you still have that fifth-year option that you can use on Zach Wilson and see, hey, maybe we can recoup something that we spent in that form of that number 2 overall pick in this player. A lot of people believe in the kid's talent. They just think that the kid, it's not a lack of talent, it's a lack of maturity. And sometimes people mature with age. So maybe, sitting behind Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Rodgers isn't going to be the mentor per se, but I think if you're smart, there's no way through the process of osmosis that you're not going to pick up some things from learning from such a great player. So I think the case for Aaron Rodgers is strong. The case against these other guys, to me, is even stronger. Derek Carr is the main name that's brought up. A lot of people like Derek Carr because you wouldn't have to trade any draft picks to get Derek Carr. But, one thing that the great Mike Lombardi has said over and over again, like, you can't overpay for great. Like A-Rod at his apex is a great, great player. Derek Carr is someone who's been in the league for 9 years and never won a playoff game. We know that he is a sensitive guy. He does not take to hard coaching. He does not take to media criticism. That's not really compatible with the New York market. Now, you may say, hey, A-Rod is someone who's been feisty with the media, but he's been feisty. He jousts back and forth. This is a guy in Derek Carr, on the other hand, who goes into a cocoon, who blocks half of the NFL media members who say anything that's critical to him. If he sees this commentary, I'm sure he's going to block me. Shout out to him. He's my fellow Bulldog, but the truth is the truth. I'm here to tell the truth. Uh, he's someone who created a burner account to prop himself up on the internet and to bring other quarterbacks down. I mean, this is just not a winning scenario. And then if you need a cherry on top of why you should get Derek Carr, he is 0-7 in games that are played in 37 degrees or less outdoors. Once again, you play for the Jets. You play in the AFC East versus Buffalo versus New England. Not being able to produce in cold weather, that matters. And you might say, hey, that might be a fluky statistic, but think about it. He's a California kid, played at Fresno State, played in Oakland, then played in Las Vegas. He's never been subjected to the type of elements that he's going to be subjected to on a weekly basis in the AFC East. So I think that the idea that you are going to choose Derek Carr because you don't have to trade draft capital doesn't really make that much sense. And again, to you big up Aaron Rodgers, hey, he played in the frozen tundra. He played and owned, his words, not mine, the city of Chicago, the Windy City. So playing outdoors means nothing to him. Lamar Jackson is a name that's come up. With the cost in draft capital, trading for him is going to cost a lot more than it's going to cost for Aaron Rodgers. The cost in contract, remember, he wants Deshaun Watson money. He's been feuding with the Ravens about money. That's the only reason that he's available. And then you add in the fact that this is a guy that doesn't really throw to the outside. He likes to throw in between the numbers, in between the hashes. To tight ends. This is a team where, they've drafted receivers, Hollywood Brown, Rashad Bateman, and they really haven't taken off. Now, you might say they're not the caliber of player that Garrett Wilson is, caliber player that Corey Davis is. But, I mean, I just think his skill set, even back to college, he's not really a throw outside the numbers type guy. So you're not utilizing some of the best offensive traits on your team. And again, he's not someone that knows this system. It's going to take time. You're going to have to tailor-made your system to add in a lot of quarterback runs and take advantage of his legs. And I just don't think the juice is going to be worth the squeeze for the Jets. And then finally, Mike White, I just think he's a career backup. He's a nice story. Hey, he might catch a little bit of that, Geno Smith magic in a bottle that he caught this year. But I just think that when you have an opportunity to win a Super Bowl, you can truly say, if you add Aaron Rodgers, if he plays the way that we know him to play, that this is a Super Bowl contender. We can beat anyone in the AFC, including the Bills, including the Bengals, including the Chiefs, and we can realistically win a Super Bowl. So hopefully the Jets don't jet. It's a clear and obvious decision. All right, let me know what you think. Rate, subscribe. The game is the game.